Hey everyone, and welcome to my very first episode of my new podcast, Lexifer Diaries. I cannot believe I'm doing this. I have been wanting to do a podcast as a certified yapper. I've been wanting to do a podcast for many, many years. It just never felt like the right time. Now it feels like the right time. It's the beginning of the year. Is this going to be just a New Year's resolution and is it going to end in 2 weeks? We don't know. Is it going to be for 10 years? We don't know. But I'm excited to kick off this journey, and I'm excited to see where it takes us. Whether you're here for some laughs, some real talk, or just a little company, I'm so glad you're along for the ride. I'm your host, Lex, and let's get into the first episode. So to kick things off, I decided to make this an intro episode, kind of to pitch myself in a way and allow my demographic to find me. So I'm just going to introduce myself real quick. Again, my name is Alex. I'm from the East Coast, New Jersey, to be specific. That's one thing about me as well. I will stutter, and I'm not going to edit it out either. So yeah, this is Unfiltered. And also, if you hear my cat walking around the background, I'm so sorry. I don't know podcast etiquette yet. So I'm just learning as the bells and whistles, literally bells. She might even come up to me and talk to me. I'm so sorry in advance. This is not a professional setting. Yeah, so I'm from the East Coast, New Jersey to be specific. That tends to have made or curated my sarcastic and direct communication style. I also feel like when you're from New Jersey, there's a certain personality that comes with it, and it's something that's unexplainable in a way, and I feel like only people from New Jersey really understand. It's an if you know type beat. I don't know how to explain it. Some of my hobbies that I enjoy, I love art. Art is it's something I should do more often. I really neglect my hobbies in a way because I tend to hyperfixate on certain things, but I really love art. It allows me to turn my brain off and just be creative without any judgment or overthinking, which I love so much. And it's important to have outlets like that where you can just shut your brain off, because sometimes you need that, like a reset or restart. Another hobby of mine is traveling. I am obsessed with all things traveling. The execution, the plan, the idea, the brainstorming, the research, the booking, the hitting the book, that dopamine. Oh my God. The dopamine from booking a trip is something I cannot explain. It hits every time. It's not even the first time hits the best. That first time is okay, period, you made it. You can book your own trips, but it just keeps going, and the satisfaction and the trips just get better and better as you elevate in life. And it's an unexplainable feeling. Some people hate planning trips though, so I get that, but I love it. Let me know and I will plan your trip. Speaking of planning trips, every single year for the last 2 years, I've gone on a trip for my birthday. 2023, it was to Costa Rica, my first ever solo trip. Yes, out of the country. I went to Central America alone for the first time for my 23rd birthday. I keep forgetting. And then last summer, I went to Europe for 3 weeks, a bunch of places. I went to London, Ibiza, Italy, and Greece. That was super fun. And then this year, I will reveal where I'm going later. But it has been booked, and we are ready to go for 2025. So I'm very excited for that. It came into my head now, so I'm just going to get into that. I have a very dry sense of humor. I've been told that, and I never realized that's what it was, but I guess that's what it is. So I just want to warn people about that as well. Not warning. Sorry. Next, I just want to get into, I really like astrology. I study it more on a day-to-day basis, like planets. What are the planets? How are they affecting me? Rather than very surface level, but not surface level in a way of oh, my ex was a Libra, so I hate all Libras and they all suck way. More of just I'm not an educational outlet, and I can't tell you everything about every sign and what each planet and number and house means. I just read what the horoscope tells me, and I study it a little bit more, but I do want to dive deeper into that. And I do like talking about it when it comes to people, and I like reading people's charts. That's very helpful. But again, very surface level, not an expert. So yes, astrology And spirituality will definitely be talked about in episodes to come. And of course, my ADHD brain cannot think of what else I like, so I guess you'll just have to stick around and find out. Although this is an intro episode, I did want to start every episode with a vibe check just to get like a how's your mental, how you doing type beat. So yeah, vibe check. I feel like I'm doing okay. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm not always going to do a scale of 1 to 10. That's just what my brain told me to do today. I would say I'm like a 4 or 5. But I'm pulling through right now. I ate. I didn't eat yet, but metaphorically, I for sure did. Anyways. Yeah, I'm getting through it. Sometimes that was not me crying. I swear, I did not cry. I'm a sniffly girl right now. Sometimes my brain kind of just like goes into like overdrive and I like spiral. So that's happening right now and that's okay. We're getting through it together, one step at a time. So yeah, there's the vibe check. Let's get into the why. So basically, this is the type of podcast that I wish I had when I was in my late teens, early 20s. It's for any age though, because every age group deals with similar issues, just like manifested into different, appropriate scenarios for that age group. But overall, I just feel as though that as a person who has been through almost half of their 20s now, I can really talk about the true developmental years, which I feel like is 20 to 25 is like, whoa, so much change. I mean, of course, people can stay in the same spot, but when you truly like put your true full growth potential out there, like, holy cow, you're going to change a lot. So that's definitely something we're going to get into in this podcast and that I'm really passionate about talking about. Also, another thing is some topics that we're going to get into. Mental health is the number one thing that we're going to be talking on this podcast, because as a person like who has mental health issues and has gone most of my life thinking like I'm crazy, like why do I feel like this and stuff like that, I hope to just be like an outlet that like validates people and makes them not feel like alone, like I said. Again, just to disclaimer, I'm not a mental health way to fuck it up during the most crucial part of the episode. All right. I'm not a mental health professional, so everything I share is just based on my own life experiences. In no way, shape, or form am I trying to help anyone diagnose themselves, recommend treatment. I'm just talking about my own, experiences and my how I navigated mental health in my way. And I feel as though this outlet is definitely just like about connection and honest conversation. It's not to find a perfect solution or how to fix yourself. It's just to feel validated and not feel alone. Next topic is, the typical girl talk topics that we'll get into, the friendships, relationships, body image issues, outgrowing friends, yada, yada, heartbreak, stuff like that. As well as navigating adulthood, your career, your self-image, things that involve adulthood, feeling like your peers are ahead of you or you're not doing enough, things like that. Also, we'll get into some hot takes and venting sessions. You're going to be hearing my raw, unfiltered opinion, so get ready for that. I'm definitely not a yes man. I tend to tell people what they need to hear versus what they want to hear, which has gotten me some very high highs and some very low lows. I had to learn how to do a happy medium between those two. But definitely I don't always like to validate people. Sometimes they need to hear what they need to hear, and I can do that in a nice way. Also, I definitely want to engage with my audience. So I feel as though that this will lead into some advice, scenario, conversational opinions, or controversial opinions, a very conversational segment. So we can get people like with scenarios that they want to talk about or advice that they need or their controversial opinions and how do I feel a bit, or like things that are happening in this crazy, crazy world that makes me spiral every single day. So yeah, DM me and we'll definitely get that introduced into the podcast ASAP. And also for this podcast, I definitely want to start out solo and audio only just to keep things basic and get like a routine going before I make it too complicated for myself and my brain just will get too overwhelmed and I'll want to quit. So I'm doing this for just to gradually grow instead of just bam, like everything full out. And also I definitely want to eventually put guests on here and get some video, but like I said, I just want to start out small. I might get some guests here and there, but I have to figure out the recording situation and all that. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And with the guests, I'm just excited to learn like different perspectives from people and learn different people, or just talk about things with friends that I have. I just like want to learn other perspectives, And I think the most diverse and shocking thing about my podcast will be how unexpected the guests are. Like I'm talking like this will range from friends who've seen me during my darkest days to friends who see me when I got out of my darkest days and don't know I've ever gone through things like that. Or strangers who think nothing like me, or somebody that I used to be friends with and don't talk to anymore. Like I'm going to shock the hell out of people and I'm excited to do that. So yeah, whether it resonates with one person or 1,000, I'm putting myself out there this year because this matters to me. And even if it just helps me, I'll call it a win. So starting this podcast was definitely scary, very scary, but I'm doing it because I believe in pushing myself. I feel like growth happens outside of your comfort zone, and this is my way of stepping out. Think of this as your space to laugh, cry, I don't know, maybe figure things out together. I'm so grateful for anyone tuning in, and I can help. If I can help, even if I can help one person, that's enough for me, honestly. And that one person just might be me. So that one person might just be me. So this is definitely the space where we keep it real, a little unhinged. And think of me as your big sister who's figuring it all out too. If you're struggling to navigate this weird time of life, just know you're not alone. None of us have it figured out, and that's okay. So let's talk about what's next. Next, we'll be diving into everything from mental health and self-image to what it's like outgrowing friendships and figuring out your path in life. Follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Lexifer Diaries. DM me your questions or topics you want me to talk about, and let's make this a space where we can grow together. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. The first episode. I have a really good feeling about this, so please tune in to new episodes weekly. Thank you for watching Lexifer Diaries. I love you. Stay beautiful.